Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hart, and today I'll be breaking down the 6-game NBA slates we have here on DraftKings on Saturday night. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. I'll be going over my favorite spin-up plays, some mid-range plays, and some value plays that we could look at for tomorrow night's slate. Once again, hit that like button. I'll see you guys in the slate breakdown. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at HartDFS. To start off this slate, we're going to start with Toronto, Indiana. Toronto's coming off a game where they got destroyed by OKC tonight. So Van Fleet, 8,200. He didn't finish the game due to an illness. You know, they were getting blown out, so he wasn't going to come back anyways. But that is something we have to keep an eye on, because if he's out, it changes the whole slate in terms of value in the plays to go to. But let's just assume he's in for now. Obviously, you still have a ton of time until the slate starts, but 8,200, he looks great. Minutes are there, usage is there. You know, just coming off a bad game tonight, do like a bounce back spot for him in this great matchup against Indiana. Scotty Barnes, just a little too pricey for me. It does have some upside, double-double, triple-double. Usage is there. He just hasn't been doing well recently at the elevated price tag. OG prefer getting to him over Scotty, and so has the whole field. So, Scotty will be a little bit lower owned compared to OG. OG's been doing great when it comes to steals and blocks, averaging about 3+ a game. The usage has been there too with the shot attempts, 21, 19, 12, 20, 15. So I don't mind going to him. He looks like a solid play there at 7,300. Gary Trent, a little too score independent for me, but I don't mind if you want to take a dart throw. Hope he, shoots the ball well. Boucher, I took a shot at him tonight and it worked out. Obviously the blowout did, lead to him getting a few more minutes, but he's a guy who should see at least 15. At the beginning of the season, he was seeing about 20 minutes off the bench, getting extended if he was doing well. And then more recently, he only saw 14 and 13, did terrible, and then did get extended. He was doing well in the first half. Obviously, as I said, the blowout happened, and he got a little bit more. But yeah, 5,200, not the best price tag, but he's a guy who could definitely nuke the slate if he's playing well. Koloko, don't think it to go to him, not playing enough minutes. Otto Porter Jr., should see about 15 to 20. Banton could get the start if we get news that Van Fleet is out for some reason, and then Malachi Flynn, but we'll have to wait on that news. Don't want to make any calls yet. Indiana side, Halliburton, 8,900, price is slowly climbing up, but he's been a great play this year. Don't mind going there if you want to. Buddy Hield, 6,600, he looks pretty solid. Miles Turner, I think he'd be my favorite play. Very foul prone. Should be a better spot here going against Koloko. Not really scared of Koloko offense because he really doesn't shoot. So I do have a good amount of interest in Miles Turner. He should be pretty popular, but for good reason. He has massive ceiling, and he's getting a ton of blocks every game, averaging about 3+. Benedict Mathurin, also don't mind going to him. 25 minutes. I think he had like 25 points, at halftime in this Denver game, and then really cooled off. But as we saw at the beginning of the season, he's a guy who can go out there and score in bunches, play very well off the bench. So 5,500. That price tag is just a little too cheap for him, even though he is pretty score independent. Jalen Smith, it just comes down if you think he's getting the minutes. If he does, I say, he's not a lock, but he's a very solid play. Almost a lock for a double-double. As you can see, if he's going to get you about 25, 30 minutes, should easily get a double-double. It just comes down if you think he's getting, those minutes. Because recently he hasn't. 11, 29, 18. Obviously, if he gets minutes, he's pretty much gotten a double-double every game. And if not, he's going to screw you. But 5K, I don't mind taking that shot there. Isaiah Jackson, he's going to do well at random games. That random game was last game. Don't think you to force that. Nembhard, if he gets to start again, don't mind going to him for some value at 3,900. Not going to be a high usage guy, but he can easily pay off that price tag. Really does it on the Toronto or Indiana side. TJ McConnell, we'll see about 15 to 20 minutes. Decent point per minute guy, so if you want to go to him for a cheaper price tag over Nembhard, you can. Boston and Detroit, two teams coming off of games tonight, so on back-to-backs. I think Tatum and Brown look great. I think there's blowout risk, especially if Cade Cunningham doesn't play. Detroit looked terrible tonight. But yeah, Tatum and Brown look very solid at their price points. Prefer getting to Brown just because of the discount. A little bit more score independent, obviously, but they've both been great this year. Smart, more of a contrarian play at 5,600. Al Horford, that would be probably my favorite play on the Celtics side. He's been playing a lot better recently. The minutes are now, 30+ pretty much every game. Not shooting the ball a ton, but he's getting to the free throw line. And he's been productive. The rebounds have been very solid. Assists have been solid. Can get you some steals and blocks. So 5,400. Don't mind him in this matchup against Detroit. Brogdon questionable. I don't think he goes, but we'll have to see. If he's out, Derek White looks decent, 4,300. A little bit scoring dependent. Prefer getting to Grant Williams, even though he is still kind of scoring dependent as well, but his minutes are a little bit more safe and secure. I'd say he's a better shooter than Derek White. But yeah, I think he's my favorite value play there at 4,100 on the Celtics side. Pritchard maybe sees 15 minutes. That really does it on the Detroit side. Cade coming in is, the huge news we have to keep an eye out on. If he's in, I don't mind taking a shot here at Cade, 7,800, coming off, a horrendous game against Boston. I do like that bounce back spot here for Cade. If he's out, Ivy still becomes a very solid play. Did absolutely nothing tonight. That was very tragic, but do like a bounce back spot for him there. 5,700 is a great price tag. Isaiah Stewart, just more of a secondary play. Just not seeing a ton of shots. He's been pretty much a lock for a double-double every game, but he just doesn't see enough shots to where you want to roster him and have that ceiling of like 45, 50 fantasy points. Bogdan, okay play. If Cade's in, prefer getting to Cade. If, Cade's out, Bogdan does look solid at 5,400. Scoring dependent, but he's a very good shooter, so you can easily, pay off that price tag. But there is blowout risk, as I mentioned. Bagley might be back. We'll have to see if he plays, if he does, how many minutes. Sadiq, more of a contrarian play, tournament play. He's very boomer bust. Alec Burks, I think, would also be one of my favorite plays on this Detroit side. 4,400 should see, still 25 minutes, so I do think we could see at least 20 plus for Alec Burks coming off the bench for Detroit. I'd say even closer to 25 because they're going to need scoring off the bench. This guy is a very solid point per minute guy, so I do like him a good amount at 4,400. Hayes was solid tonight, but I don't think he'd trust that. I'd rather get to Alec Burks. Atlanta and Philly. At the top for Atlanta, we got Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. I prefer getting to Trae Young. I played him last game, and once again, he just can't hit a shot. Super frustrating. Got me, the Snowflakes, 40 fantasy points. I like buying low on guys, as I mentioned pretty much every video. He's a perfect candidate for that at 10-3. Another good matchup here against Philly. I really like Trae Young, going into tomorrow night's slate. As I mentioned, DeJounte Murray, solid. Prefer getting to Trae just because he shoots the ball a little bit more, a little bit better of a shooter, but obviously, DeJounte has a huge ceiling. So you can definitely run both of them. It'd be pretty contrarian. Not sure if we'll get enough value to play two 10K guys, but that's definitely an option. As I said, John Collins is going to be the X factor. He does have a high ceiling, 40, 45 plus. Hasn't flashed it besides one game this season. Still a very solid matchup. He shot 3 of 11, so it was nice to see him shoot over 10 times that last game, but obviously didn't hit a shot, was in foul trouble. So I don't mind, a bounce back spot there for him. Capella has been very solid the past 4 games, which has been surprising. It's just 26, 22 minutes, 26 minutes are just very, very risky. So Capella, even though he's been great, you can definitely run it back there. He's just been super, super risky. Only 26 minutes. He goes out 18 and 20 on Embiid. I don't know if I can trust it, but 6K, I guess he's been, very solid point per minute guy recently. Hunter, 5,200. Okongwu, I don't mind taking a shot at him. I did last game. It worked out, double-double, 10, 11, and 2. Did get 5 fouls. He's foul prone. But if Capella gets in foul trouble, they'll look to Okongwu. Him, Collins, and, Capella are all pretty foul prone. So Okongwu, I guess, is decent. Should see at least 15 to 20 minutes. Could get extended if Capella's in foul trouble. Only other guy off the bench who's going to get solid minutes, consistent minutes, is going to be Justin Holiday. Not going to shoot the ball a ton, but 3,000 flat min price. You can definitely look to him as, a guy to jam in there. Joel, just priced a little bit too high for me, but obviously a great matchup. Maxey, I say him alongside, I'm going to throw him and Trae in there as of right now. But yeah, I'd say probably my favorite play on this Philadelphia side. We know all the scoring is going to come from Joel, Maxey, and Tobias. Tobias didn't have a good game last game. 7,500 prices come up a little bit, but yeah, he can go out there and get you 45 fantasy points. So I don't mind him at 7,500. Melton, a little too pricey for me. Hasn't shot the ball a ton the past 2 games. So yeah, I just don't think he'd force that at 6,400. Everyone off the bench is just not a good play. Harrell is kind of falling out of the rotation. Maybe he'll get, 15 to 20 minutes if Paul Reed's not good to go. If Paul Reed's good to go, he'll probably see 10. Harrell will probably see 10. They've been going to, PJ Tucker and Niang. Niang's obviously a little bit better of a play, but he's very scoring dependent. So, yeah, I really don't think you need to go to any of these guys. Maybe Daniel House Jr., another guy you could force in there at 3,100, but not a lot of confidence in those guys. Charlotte and Miami, we have LaMelo Ball still out. Terry Rozier is just one of those guys, it's kind of like Trae Young, Trae Young obviously has, better, safer floor, but, the minutes have been great for Terry. Shot attempts have been great. He just hasn't shot the ball well. He has a very solid, safe floor when it comes to the rebounds and assists. Not the best assist, getting assists like Trey, but it's just one of those things. If you think he's hitting the shot, you lock him in. 8,600 is a solid price for him. If you think he's going to shoot the ball terribly like he has so far all season, you can definitely fade him. Oubre looks okay. 6,500, just more boomer bust there. Coming off that solid game against Miami. Dennis Smith Jr. is questionable. Would change a few things, not a ton, but it would change a few things. Like maybe Book Knight gets more minutes, but 6,200, he looks okay. Washington, I guess you could take a dart throw there. He'd be my second favorite play behind Rozier. And then, I guess Plumlee's been playing very, very solid basketball recently. 39 minutes, which is not usual for Plumlee. He's usually around 25 to 30. Kind of foul prone at times, but yeah, I guess I don't mind running it back with Plumlee there at 5,200. McDaniels, a little too dart throwy-ish there for me at 4,600. Richards, we'll see that backup center run, about 15, 20 minutes. Book Knight, about 15 to 20 minutes, just been terrible. Maybe Maladin gets dusted off if Dennis Smith Jr. is, not good to go, but not a lot of interest in anyone besides, I guess Plumlee and Rozier. Jimmy, the news on the news bit to kind of keep an eye on is obviously that Tyler Hero news, because if he's in, really don't like the price tag on any of these guys besides Strus. If he's still out, Jimmy was coming off almost a triple-double. You could look to him. He'll be super low owned at that price tag. Bam will have some, ownership. He looks solid. Another solid matchup once again against Charlotte. 8,300. Not my favorite price tag for Bam. Kyle Lowry would look okay. 7,200 coming off a bad game. 2 past games, he hasn't shot the ball a ton. Actually, 3. So, don't know if you trust that. Yeah, it'd pretty much be Strus for me on this Miami side. I guess Gabe Vincent is in play. Seen a ton of minutes recently, but if Tyler Hero's back, minutes will probably come down to about that 25 to about 33 minute range. So I don't hate that. Caleb Martin, minutes are there, just not a high usage guy. And then Robinson's just more of that like dart throw off the bench. If he hits his threes, gets hot, they will extend him. But not a lot of interest in the Miami side. Portland, Dallas. I mean, these next 2 games are going to be the most popular to get pieces from, just because they're a little bit better matchups and they have a little bit more, shooting power, star power for those games to do very well. Dame, once again, another team where we have to wait on the news because if Nurkic and Grant are questionable, and if one of them's in and one of them's out, it does change the whole kind of slate. But obviously Dame Simon should be good to go. They have all the usage. Not the best price in Dame, so he will be low ownership. A little bit scoring dependent, but I don't mind getting to him. You can go out there and do 41 real life fantasy points. It will hurt his, rebounds and assists opportunities, but 9,600, he's just more of that contrarian play at low ownership if you want to get to someone like that. If Nurk's in, good to go. I'd say he'd be my favorite play, 7,100. Absolute smash matchup going against these Dallas bigs. Shouldn't get in foul trouble. He is a little bit risky at times because if he's playing bad, he'll get benched. But yeah, 7,100 looks great for him. Grant, a little too pricey for me. At 7K. That's really it. Just gotta keep an eye on this injury news because 5 players are questionable. Dallas side, Luka is just too pricey to get to as of right now. And we gotta wait for news because if not, really don't see an avenue of getting Luka in the lineup at 12.6. What is probable? So, I mean, I still prefer getting to Dinwiddie coming off of 2 fantastic games. I don't trust him to shoot the ball as well as he has the past 2 games, but he should see 30-plus minutes. Has been safe with the rebounds and assists. It just comes down if he's hitting the shots. I expect him to get more, towards that 17 to 23 real-life point range. So I don't mind him there at 6,700. I say he'd be my favorite play on this Mavericks side. Don't trust the bigs. Powell's seen the starts. Had a solid game last game, but he should see about 20 minutes. McGee only seen about 5 minutes, 8 minutes. Looks gross. Finney Smith, gross, seeing the minutes, not doing anything. I guess Hardaway is the only playable guy off this bench. He's very score independent, hasn't flashed huge upside yet, but it's just the minutes are the safest for him. I guess Kleber just hasn't been playing well. Same thing with, Bullock. Same thing with Green. Just disgusting getting to these bench guys. I wish they played Jaden Hardy, excuse me. I guess he's kind of a super high usage guy, so it'd be hard because you already have Dinwiddie and Luka, who high usage guards, but Hardy can score in bunches. But yeah, not a lot of interest in those Mavs bigs. And then the last game, Houston and the Pelicans. KPJ looks great here, 7,600. I love him a good amount. Same thing with Sengun. I guess not the best matchup, but he's been very, very productive recently, so I do like him a good amount. Jalen Green, like him a lot. Very boom or bust, but he's been very boom recently. 49, 36, been shooting the ball well. Just the minutes are safe. The shot attempts are safe when it comes to him. Smith, Martin, Gordon are all just kind of secondary contrarian plays. Tari, I guess you can get to him. Had a very, very good game last game. 14, 6, 5, and 5 steals. Obviously, 5 steals is 10 fantasy points right there. So 4,200 looks okay. That really does it on the Houston side. And then the Pelican side, Zion and Ingram both look solid. Obviously, it's a great matchup. I just think when all their stars are in, I think they all kind of have, limited ceilings just because they're all going to shoot the ball decent amount. If I was going to get to someone, it'd be CJ at 8,400 just because he has a safer floor when it comes to the rebounds, assists, opportunities. He's pretty decent at blocks and steals. And it just, even if he doesn't hit a shot, it's like last game, still got you almost 38 fantasy points, or did get you 38 fantasy points. If he hits a shot, it's just kind of a cherry on top. Should see, I'd say about 40 to 50 fantasy points. So yeah, I'd say he'd be my favorite play there at 8,400. J-Val, he's just, even in good matchups, like against Eubanks, only 20 minutes, 22 fantasy points. Against the Bulls, 30 minutes, did put up 44, but now that Larry Nance is back, they prefer closing with Larry Nance just because he's a little bit better of a defender, more nimble. So I prefer getting to Larry Nance at 4,600. Yeah, he looks like a solid play, good point per minute guy. Definitely has some upside into the 30 fantasy point range. That really does it for me on this, Pelican side. It's pretty much just the 3 stars if you want to get to someone in Larry Nance. And that does it for this slate, guys. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. As of right now, focusing on Trae Young, Larry Nance, and Tyrese Maxey. We do have to wait on a good amount of news, that Miami news, the Portland news, maybe some value opens up. Cade Cunningham news, obviously Fred VanVleet news if he's, has that illness. But yeah, ton of news we have to wait, keep an eye on. Still have a ton of time till the slate starts. But yeah, once again, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you guys like the slate breakdown, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.